A freezing dawn settled over the battlefield prison camp. Dozens of soldiers stood silently as rifles were raised. Among the condemned men was a young officer named Joseph Samuel, moments away from death. But what happened next would leave even his executioners terrified. The rifles exploded in unison. Smoke swallowed the field. When it cleared, Joseph Samuel was still standing. Not a single bullet had killed him. Joseph Samuel was not a famous king or a legendary warrior. He was an ordinary thief from Ireland in the early 1800s. After being convicted of robbery, he was transported to Australia as a prisoner. But his fate would soon become one of history's strangest mysteries. In 1803, Joseph Samuel and several accomplices committed a robbery near Sydney. During the chaos, a police officer was killed. Although evidence against Joseph was weak, the court sentenced him to death. Execution was swift in those brutal times. Days later, crowds gathered to witness the hanging. Public executions were treated almost like entertainment. The rope was prepared. Joseph Samuel climbed toward the gallows, believing his life was over. The trap door opened. Joseph dropped, but seconds later, the rope snapped apart. The crowd gasped in horror. Authorities quickly prepared another rope. There would be no mercy. Joseph was dragged back onto the platform for a second execution. Many believed surviving once was impossible enough. Again, the trap door opened. Again, Joseph fell. And once more, the rope broke apart. Now fear spread through the crowd like wildfire. People began whispering that God himself was protecting Joseph Samuel. Others believed dark supernatural forces were involved. In the early 1800s, such events terrified deeply religious communities. The execution ground turned into a scene of panic. Despite everything, officials refused to stop. A third rope was brought forward. Joseph Samuel stood silently, exhausted and bruised. The crowd could barely watch anymore. For the third time, the trap door opened. But something unbelievable happened again. The knot slipped loose, and Joseph survived once more. Now even officials were shaken. According to British legal tradition, surviving repeated execution attempts could be seen as a sign of divine judgment. Some believed heaven itself had intervened. The authorities feared public unrest if they continued. And suddenly, everything changed. Joseph Samuel's death sentence was finally canceled. The man who had survived execution 3 times walked away alive. Crowds stared at him as if they had witnessed a ghost. History had never seen anything quite like it. News of the impossible survival spread rapidly across Australia and beyond. Many called Joseph Samuel the man death could not take. His story became part of colonial folklore, and over time, the legend only grew darker. Some historians believe the ropes may have been deliberately weakened. Others suspect executioners intentionally missed their shots earlier. Perhaps sympathy existed among the soldiers. Or perhaps nobody wanted innocent blood on their hands. Even today, historians still debate what truly happened that day. Was it luck, human error, or one of history's strangest miracles? For the executioners themselves, the event became deeply unsettling. Many feared they had witnessed divine judgment. In an era ruled by superstition and faith, such fear could change lives forever. Some reportedly refused similar duties afterward. Joseph Samuel eventually disappeared into history, but his survival became immortal. Centuries later, people still ask the same question. How many times can death fail before destiny steps in? Executions were designed to send a message, but Joseph Samuel's survival sent a completely different one. Sometimes history creates moments so impossible, they feel beyond explanation. And that is why his story still survives today. History is full of secrets, and we've only just begun to uncover them. There are stories you've never heard, truths that were hidden, and facts that can change how you see the world. If you don't want to miss what comes next, subscribe to Histopedia and join the journey through time.